What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I am working on the JON boat. I've not worked on this bad boy in about a week or so, maybe even longer. I've been too busy making other videos and fishing, but today we're getting back at it.
Alrighty, so
awesome, man.
A while, but
oh no, it's fine. Thank you.
Should be good.
Thank you, sir. We got the carpet, and now we can go home and finish the boat. So today I need to work on the deck. Today I'm going to cut out all the hatches and this board right here for the foot pedal. I'm gonna have to paint this as well, but that's already on. It's in place, screwed down. I also traced out the entire deck from the piece of plywood, and that will give me my lines where I need to cut out these hatches. I'm gonna have two hatches right here, one there, one here, and then I'm thinking about putting hatches there and there, and in the middle one will have the foot pedal. So I'm going to unscrew the deck from the board and then draw out my lines. Whenever I cut out the hatches, I want the cutout to be in the middle of this 2x4. That way my hatch will rest on a 2x4 all the way around the hatch and give it the most support it can. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this from the deck, and then we can start working on cutting out the hatches. Okay, now you can see where the 2x4s were sitting. It's all marked out. First things first, I'm going to cut off this end. This sticks out too much, and I trace the line, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out real quick. All right, next up, I need to draw the line where I actually need to cut. These lines are just showing where the 2x4 sits underneath the deck. But what I need is a line right in the middle, and that will tell me where to cut these hatches. So I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way through and trace all those lines. Okay, so now I got all the hatches marked up. So this is the cut line right here. I drew X's on all the cut lines. That way I don't get in a rush and accidentally cut this line or that line and cut it too small or too big. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the foot pedal first. My plan to cut these hatches is to get a drill bit, drill a few holes just big enough for a jigsaw blade to slide down in there, and then cut out the line with the jigsaw. Got the foot pedal cut out, and now we can cut out the hatches. Okay, I got all of the hatches cut out, and honestly this looks very sketchy. This is very thin right here. It will sit on top of 2x4s, so once it's on the deck it won't be so bad. But also this is really gonna suck to carpet these really small edges. It's gonna be really hard to do. It's definitely gonna take some time. But I'm gonna go ahead and sand down all these edges, and then I'm actually gonna have to do one more coat of paint around all of these bare wood edges. Same with the hatches over there. So this is going to be the hatch lid. It will go just right there, just like that. But there's not a very big gap all the way around. So this will be very hard to open up, especially since I'm going to be carpeting it. So when I add the carpet, there's going to be carpet on this side of the wood and carpet right here. 2 layers of carpet in between this gap. It's gonna open up like this. So when I add carpet, it's gonna make that gap really tight. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut around the edges. So I'm testing out how much I need to cut off of the hatches. I cut little pieces off just to have an idea of how thick the carpet will be. We got that on both sides, and I think that will work. I cut off a 1/4 inch off 2 sides. Alright, it is time to paint again. I got all the hatches cut out. I sanded all the sides. It's as smooth as it can be. So we gotta paint up all of these pieces and all of these edges. I got one of these. this might make it a lot easier and a lot faster. So I'm gonna give that a try. So I got the hatches all painted and also a new layer of paint on the casting deck. So once the paint dries on the deck, I will be able to carpet the deck and also carpet the floor. The floor has been done for a week now. So it is the next day. Here is what I got. We got all the pieces out in the garage and we got carpet. Today is going to be a day of carpeting, which I'm actually excited about because once I carpet it, it's going to look 20 times better. So here is the entire deck back in the boat. I want to show y'all why I want to carpet these bottom pieces. Obviously it's very ugly, but it will be showing. So the deck will be carpeted and then so will all these pieces right here. But man, this looks freaking awesome. And like I said, once I carpet it, it's going to look 20 times better too. So this side has that bracket right here to support the small piece of plywood. But over here it wasn't going to have one. But I was at Academy and saw that they had a pack of 2 side mount rod holders. And I was like, hey, that could be awesome to have 2 rod holders right here going off the side. So that is why I built one more for this side. So now I just need to screw that side in. Okay, so I cut the wood and I'm liking this fit a whole lot better. There's a way bigger gap all the way around. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this piece, and while this dries, I'm gonna go ahead and carpet the rest of it. It is time to roll out the gray carpet. Almost blends in with the carpet. So there it is. I think I'm gonna go with this placement right here. This will give me enough carpet to flip over it on the back side and staple it down. And I'll cut around it. The hard part about this is going to be this small pieces in the middle. Man, that's gonna be really hard to carpet, but I'll see what I can do. That might take some time. I got some outdoor carpet adhesive and a spreader here. So I'm gonna flip this piece over, spread some glue all over it, and then we can glue it down. You probably couldn't tell, but this is my very first time ever doing this. Alright, now I just need to successfully flip over this piece of plywood and get the carpet down flat. So I got all excited and started cutting around the edge of the deck, and I realized I forgot to add on the extra piece. Why? No. I messed up. Dang it. Man. But luckily I was able to get it glued down without that really showing. It does show a little bit, but it's going to be hidden by the lip of the boat. So even though I messed up, I got very lucky and it's going to be hidden. I'm so stupid. Alright, so I had a bit of an oopsie. Did I mention this is my first time doing this? Alright, so now I need to go get the stapler gun and we can staple all the edges onto the plywood. 2 hours and 1,000 staples later, we got the entire edge cut out and stapled. It didn't really take 2 hours, but it felt like it. Now I need to cut out along the edges of the inside and then staple all that together. And she's done. That sucked. It wasn't too bad, it was just very time consuming. I thought that middle part would be really hard, so I didn't film it, but it was basically what I did on that last piece right here. Just staple it down and cut it, but that took a while. But it's finally done. Alright, I got the deck all carpeted, and it's just sitting on top of the deck frame, and it looks absolutely amazing. Holy crap. It looks so freaking sick. I'm pretty impressed. That took a while, but it looks really good. Now I need to carpet the hatches, but first I want to test the fit once again. I don't know, I'm thinking now that I need to go ahead and cut these down even more because the carpet added a lot more than I thought it did, or thought it would. But let's see what these look like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut these down. It's already pretty tight. Like I can't even get that out. Pretty tough. Oh man. I was told to cut it 1/2 inch and I didn't. I was like, you know what? I'll just cut it 1/4 inch and see how it goes. Just to be safe. The 1/2 inch was right. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off a 1/4 inch off 2 sides, and then it should fit perfectly in there. Sadly, this painting I just did was for nothing. I'm gonna have to cut it again. God, it's starting to get there, guys, and it is looking awesome. I'm getting really pumped up about this. I'm gonna get all my boards measured up, trace out the lines, and then we can go cut them. After cutting all the pieces down, this is what we're left with. I think it looks a lot better. Some of the gaps still look a little small, but I think it'll be just fine. It'll make the hatches close real tight, which I like. But I was also kind of worried about how strong these hatches would be. It's just 5/8 plywood, which is actually kind of heavy. A lot of people use 1/2 inch plywood and beef up the hatches, but since I'm using 5/8 plywood, I won't have to add braces underneath it, and that will save on weight too. And these hatches are very strong, really strong. So I'm no longer worried about how strong the hatches are. I don't feel any flex in them at all. So that is one good thing about using 5/8 plywood. It is heavy, it will be very heavy, but I won't have to add any more braces to the hatches, so we are saving a little bit of weight there, I guess. But now I just need to pop these out and go ahead and paint the back and the sides that we just cut. The back has all these lines I used to cut out the hatches, so I want to paint those and get rid of those lines, make it look a lot better. Because although you can't see it now, whenever you open these hatches, you will be able to see it. So the lines will probably be covered up by carpet, but still, there's only one layer of paint on the bottom. I went pretty heavy on the front. It has a few layers, but the back only has one layer, and you can kind of see wood in all the cracks. It kind of makes it look very ugly. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint those another layer. Might as well, since I already have to paint them. So I use construction grade plywood. As you can see, it's very rough. It's not very pretty. It doesn't matter on the front side because the carpet will hide that. But if I use a really smooth plywood, it would have made painting way easier. Also, it would have came out super nice. The 2x4s I used were even crap. You can kind of see right here what I'm talking about. It's really smooth, almost looks like a plastic finish. But on spots where the wood is rough, it doesn't look very good. So if I got really nice wood, this thing would have been absolutely beautiful. So that's one tip. If you want it to come out really nice, spend the extra money on nicer wood, or just pick out nicer wood. I wasn't very picky when I picked it out. I just kind of grabbed it and left the store. But yeah, just a little tip for you guys if you are building your own boat. Okay, so I was going to go ahead and carpet the inside of this box and then all of this as well, but I got to paint and all that stuff, and it got me thinking I might as well do another coat on top of this. Just on the top in a few areas, not the entire thing. I have a few spots where I marked with marker right there, a bunch of it right there, and all right here. And when you open the hatch, you will see that, and that's very ugly. And I don't want that to be seen. So, I'm gonna go ahead and paint over basically just the top layer, and then call it quits for today. It's about to get dark, and once I paint this, I will have to have 24 hours for all this paint to dry, and then I can pick it back up tomorrow, and we can finish carpeting all these hatches and the frame. Alright, now that everything is painted, I'm gonna give it 24 hours to dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this video done. But we got quite a bit done today for the boat. We started the carpet, which I thought was gonna be fun. Turns out it wasn't fun at all. Carpeting all these little pieces was horrible. But tomorrow in the next video, I will carpet all of the hatches. So subscribe for that. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.